Welcome to Area 51 Unveiled. I'm your host, Marcus.
And I'm your co-host, Dana. Tonight, we're going somewhere most people are told never to go. Not just physically, but mentally.
Somewhere in the Nevada desert, roughly 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas, there is a place that doesn't officially exist on most maps. A place surrounded by motion sensors, armed guards, and warning signs that read, "Use of deadly force authorized."
And yet, millions of people know its name, Area 51. Tonight, we pull back the curtain just a little on one of the most secretive patches of land on Earth.
Let's start at the beginning. The year is 1955. The Cold War is at its peak. The CIA and the U.S. Air Force are desperate for a place, remote, hidden, unreachable, to test a revolutionary new spy plane called the U-2. They find it at Groom Lake, a dry salt flat in the middle of nowhere. They call it Area 51.
And here's the thing, Marcus. The workers who were brought in, they were flown in on unmarked planes. No names on the manifest, no official records. They were told, what you see here, you take to your grave.
And many of them did. For decades, the CIA didn't even officially acknowledge that Area 51 existed. Not until 2013, nearly 60 years later, when a Freedom of Information Act request finally forced them to admit, yes, this place is real.
60 years of silence. Can you imagine? But here's where it gets interesting, because while the government was testing spy planes and stealth aircraft, the locals were seeing things in the sky, things that didn't look like any plane they'd ever seen.
In 1959, a headline in the Reno Evening Gazette read, "More flying objects seen in Clark sky." Witnesses described lights moving at impossible speeds, craft that could stop mid-air, then vanish in an instant. The government's explanation? Weather balloons, swamp gas, atmospheric anomalies.
Right, because nothing says weather balloon like a metallic disc hovering silently at 70,000 feet.
And then there's Roswell, July 1947, 8 years before Area 51 was even established. Something crashes in the New Mexico desert. The U.S. Army initially issues a press release, and this is real, Dana, saying they have recovered a flying disc.
And then, within 24 hours, they retract it. Suddenly, it's a weather balloon. The wreckage is classified, witnesses are silenced, and the debris, according to some accounts, is quietly transported to a facility in Nevada.
A facility that would later become Area 51.
Now, we want to be clear, there is no confirmed evidence of alien spacecraft at Area 51, but the timing, the secrecy, the sudden reversal of that press release, it leaves a door open, just a crack.
And through that crack stepped a man named Bob Lazar. In 1989, Lazar appeared on a Las Vegas television station and made a claim that shook the world. He said he had been hired as a physicist to work at a classified site just south of Area 51, a place called S4. And at S4, he said, he was tasked with reverse engineering alien spacecraft.
9 of them. He claimed there were 9 extraterrestrial craft stored in underground hangars carved directly into the mountainside. He described the propulsion system, something he called a gravity wave drive, powered by a then unknown element he called Element 115.
Here's the chilling part, Dana. In 2003, 14 years after Lazar made that claim, scientists synthesized a new element in a laboratory. They named it moscovium. Its atomic number, 115.
He named an element that didn't officially exist yet. Either Bob Lazar is the most elaborate liar in history, or he knew something.
The government, of course, denied everything. They said Lazar never worked for them. His employment records, erased. His academic credentials, unverifiable. It was as if he had never existed.
Which is exactly what you'd do if you wanted to discredit someone who knew too much.
Now, we reached out to a source, someone who asked to remain anonymous, who claims to have worked in a support capacity in a Nevada facility in the early 1990s. We can't verify their identity, but what they told us is hard to dismiss.
This is what they said, and I'm reading directly from their written account. I never saw anything I could call alien, but I saw things I couldn't explain. Craft that moved without sound, lights that responded to observation as if they knew they were being watched, and once, just once, I saw something in a hangar that was covered with a tarp. The shape underneath, it wasn't any aircraft I'd ever seen. It had no wings, no tail, no visible engine. It was smooth, perfectly smooth, like an egg.
Like an egg. And when this person asked their supervisor what it was, the answer was simple. You didn't see anything. Go back to your station. That phrase, you didn't see anything, comes up again and again in accounts from people connected to the base. It's almost like a script.
Now, let's talk about what we do know for certain, because Area 51 isn't just alien folklore. It's the birthplace of some of the most advanced technology ever built by human hands. The U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, which flew at 3 times the speed of sound, the F-117 Nighthawk stealth fighter, which looked so alien that many UFO sightings in the 1980s were almost certainly just test flights of this aircraft.
And that's the genius of it, isn't it? If you're testing something that looks like it came from another world, let people think it came from another world. The alien conspiracy theories became the perfect cover story.
Some researchers have even suggested that the government actively encouraged the alien narrative, that it was a deliberate misdirection, a way to keep the public focused on little green men while the real secrets stayed buried.
And if that's true, it worked for decades. But here's what keeps me up at night, Marcus. The declassified documents from 2013. They revealed the U-2 program, the Oxcart program, the stealth tests. They explained a lot, but not everything. There are still sections, still pages, still entire programs that remain classified.
Blacked out, redacted, hidden behind thick black lines that say you are not cleared for this.
So what's still in those pages? What couldn't they tell us even after 60 years? That is the question that keeps Area 51 alive, not just as a place, but as an idea, a symbol of everything we're not supposed to know.
And in 2019, when nearly 2 million people signed up on social media to storm Area 51, as a joke mostly, the U.S. military responded with unusual seriousness. They said, and I quote, "The U.S. Air Force always stands ready to protect America and its assets."
It's assets, not its personnel, not its aircraft, it's assets. That's a very deliberate choice of words.
Even Bob Lazar, the man who blew the lid off the whole thing, came out and said, "Don't do it. Don't storm the base." He said, and I'm quoting, "This is a misguided idea." A man who claims the government erased his identity was still afraid of what might happen if people got too close.
Think about that for a moment. The whistleblower is warning you away.
So where does that leave us? With a base that officially exists, but whose secrets largely don't. With a government that spent 60 years denying the obvious. With witnesses who saw things they can't explain and were told to forget what they saw.
With an element that a physicist named before science discovered it. With craft that moved like nothing built on this earth. With redacted pages that may never see the light of day.
The truth about Area 51 might be stranger than the fiction, or it might be exactly as strange as the fiction. Either way, we may never fully know.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe the greatest secret Area 51 holds isn't what's inside those hangars. Maybe it's the question itself, the one that keeps us looking up at the sky, wondering if we're alone.
That's all for tonight's episode of Area 51 Unveiled. If this episode made you look over your shoulder, good. That means we did our job.
If you want to go deeper, follow us, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Tell us, do you believe? And stay tuned for our next episode where we go even further into the shadows.
Until then, keep your eyes on the sky. And remember, just because they say it isn't there, doesn't mean it isn't watching you.
Good night, and stay curious.